the 18th National Tax Conference, jointly hosted CTIM. Distinguished moderators.
And tax is not something that is static, it is something that is dynamic, it is not something that is dead, it is something that is alive. After all, it's always said that there are two things you cannot avoid in life. One is death, the other is taxes. So death is something dead. So as the opposite of death was something alive, and that will be taxes. So it must be something alive, something that can keep abreast of the changes. And also, most important of all, do not tax him to death. But must tax you so that the country can stay alive. And not to be used as a device to hide and cover up scandals. You know, you always find that in many countries, taxes go out of control because they need a lot of funds. They run out of funds, and the only way left for them is to impose taxes. And that's why when people suffer, they realize that corruption scandals hurt them. And that's why I'm here today as the Minister of Finance. Now, the Ministry of Finance is focused on implementing sustainable fiscal measures to keep public finances robust. We are confident we can keep the fiscal deficit at its level, whilst maintaining a positive current balance this year. Now, this confidence is demonstrated by the ability of the federal government in providing the rakyat with a 3-month tax holiday beginning June the 1st, 2018 to September 1st. And of course, after suffering GST for 3 years, finally there is no more GST. So for these 3 months tax holiday, I'm sure everyone is taking opportunity so that you can purchase these goods without these extra expenses imposed by the tax haven. And I'm sure that many are purchasing goods during these 3 months, especially cars and vehicles. You will understand that car salesmen dare not take your phone calls nowadays because apparently they got no more cars to sell. And that's why it's only a 3-month tax holiday. Now, following the zero rating of the GST last June, the federal government expects to lose 21 billion ringgit in revenue this year. A year. 21 billion ringgit in revenue per year. In contrast, the reintroduction of SST, Sales and Services Tax, rising crude oil prices, and extra dividends from GLCs will bring in an extra 15 billion ringgit revenue for the federal government in 2018. The SST at 10% will be reintroduced on September the 1st. And we were expecting that these laws will be passed in this session of Parliament. And we should allow us to bring in a projected revenue of 4 billion. So we hope to claw back 4 billion for the last 2 months of the year. So if it's passed next month in August during the current parliamentary sitting, under the proposed bill, goods will incur a 10% tax, whilst the provision of services will be taxed at 6%. And this is the same rate that was imposed previously. Now, to fill up the gap left by the GST, the Ministry of Finance has identified 10 billion ringgit worth of expenditure savings. As I mentioned earlier, we expect a shortfall of around 21 billion ringgit this year. Altogether, per year, we are looking at around 42 billion ringgit. We will claw back from SST around half the amount, 21 billion. So there will still be a shortfall of 21 billion. And that's where we need to just do a little bit of belt tightening by cutting down on expenditures, cutting down on inefficiencies, and of course, savings. And when you talk about savings, we mean business. The first thing we did when this government took over was to cut our own salaries by 10%. First day of work, cut 10%. Imagine you go and work for an employer, the employer says, cut your salary 10%. Well, that shows how serious we are in cutting down expenditure. And of course, even some of the exorbitantly priced mega projects have also got to be cancelled or deferred. And when we talk about rationalizing our costs, or reviewing this project so that we can cut down costs, we mean business. We say what we mean and we mean what we say. Just as the RRT3 project. When the cabinet approved it in 2015, it was only for 10 billion. And at that time we say, how can it be 10 billion? It should be much higher. Of course, they don't want to tell you the bad news. They just tell you the good news first. The bad news comes later. And how bad is the bad news? Very bad. We found a letter this year applied by Prasrana, March 2018, where they admitted the actual cost is not 10 billion, it is 32 billion ringgit. And that's why they had to apply for an additional 22 billion ringgit in financing, on top of the 10 billion ringgit already secured. So this is what happens when you have a government that wants to hide from you the real facts, that do not want to tell you the true cost of these mega projects. Now we realize that the LR3 line is very crucial from Klang to Petaling Jaya. And if we are to cancel the project, of course we can save some money, but if we do not cancel the project, we will have no alternative means in order to reduce the very heavy jam-packed routes between these two destinations. So we decided that we have to try to take a middle ground, because if you cancel the project, you will pay compensation. We have already expended 2 billion, if you end up 2.3 billion, you have to pay at least 5.3 billion altogether. So that's why they say, okay, we will take our knives, we borrow the scalpel knife from Dr. M, he's a doctor, borrow his knife, we start slashing. And we have managed to reduce the final cost of LRT3 from 32 billion to 16.6 billion, a savings of 15 billion ringgit or 47%. I know this will not satisfy everyone. There are some who say that, oh, why you cut down 6 stations, why not more, or why cut down so many stations, why don't we retain them? But we have no choice. Because if you don't do that, then you have no LRT3. Because this country cannot afford all these mega projects anymore. Especially when we are required to pay, just for one MDB scandal, we have to pay 50 billion ringgit. If not for one MDB scandal, LRT3 can go on. LRT3 can proceed. Other projects can proceed because not just one MDB scandal, many other scandals like one MDB has cost us tens and tens of billions of ringgit. So we are now paying the price of the one MDB scandal. And yet people say this scandal does not exist. We know it exists. Because you and me, we are paying for the debts every day. We have paid 7 billion ringgit. We are going to pay another 1.3 billion ringgit this year. And where are we going to find the money? We have to find the money by hook or by crook. We've got to find the money to pay, because we will not allow Malaysia to go into default. And that is why, as I said, we have to rationalize all these projects that were approved without any reference to our ability to pay. And as we have shown last week, we can cut down the cost by 47%. It shows how much fat, how much unnecessary expenditure that you can cut down. And we believe that even after being reduced by 47%, LRT3, when it's completed in 2024, would be a very strong and viable alternative for you to choose rather than being jammed on the highways every day. Now, in spite of the fiscal pressures that I mentioned earlier, the fundamentals of the Malaysian economy remain strong. The banking sector is well capitalized with very low non-performing loans ratio, and there is sufficient liquidity in the capital markets. That is where I think taxes comes in. Much as we are tempted to impose new taxes to cover up all these expenses, we know that the people are suffering, especially the low-income groups. That is why, whilst taxes fund the development and administration of the country, it also functions to correct economic inequality that exists in our society. And we impose taxes. As I said just now, we do not want to tax you to death. And I say what I mean, I mean what I say. We do not want to tax you to death. But we hope that you are able to pay the taxes so that you can help us save our country. And if we can resolve this problem of tax evasion, tax avoidance, that will go a long way. Now, when we talk about hoping that everyone can pay your taxes, the required amount as stated by law on time, because I think it's fair to both parties. We have instructed LHDN that the previous method employed by the last government cannot continue. We know the last government was desperate because they need this money in order to cover up their financial scandals. So they use very strong methods, especially office raids, accompanied by security people armed with guns and weapons. I do not think this is necessary, because you are not dealing with crooks. If you want to go and use guns to catch Jolo, I understand. But you don't use guns to catch Jolo, but yet you send people with guns to raid those who supposedly avoid paying taxes. Now, even though they avoid paying taxes, after all, there's a due process where they can be charged in court and let the court decide. So, these are not criminals that we should be sending people with guns after them. Send people with guns after those who steal our money like one MDB. Have all those, fancy properties in overseas. Put a fantastic Wall Street film in Hollywood. Go after them for all intents and purposes. I think that's all right. But for businesses, if they are accused rightly or wrongly of not paying sufficient taxes, I'm sure our existing laws are sufficient and adequate to cover them. So this government has given a directive: no more office raids accompanied by people or security with guns and weapons. But that does not mean we don't go for you if you don't pay your taxes. We will still do that. But we will do that according to the law. We will conduct less audits, and I hope that Malaysians can comply. No more those rough tactics in the past, because we are your government. We think that these tactics should be employed against really, really bad people. And then if you have questions about tax, it's all about money to be paid up. If you cannot pay up this year, pay up next year, can discuss one. Or what we say in Malaysia style, boleh bincang punya. Tapi boleh bincang dengan bersih, bukan bincang bawa kaunta tak ada. Bincang dengan cara ikut undang-undang. That's why we have desk audits. We don't want to discuss in any coffee shop, no. Come to the LHDN office and discuss with the officer. We will not embarrass you. Everybody sees the LHDN people coming in the office, everybody sees people surrounding the office. No, that will not happen anymore. We invite you to come during office hours to the LHDN office, sit down and talk like civilized people. But by not doing these tactics doesn't mean that you don't have to pay exactly. Because you don't pay, then we go to court, the court decides, you still with the same thing. But we will not use those rough house tactics anymore. And this is what I want to assure, that we want the public to have confidence in the LHDN. The LHDN collects taxes on behalf of the government. And this government is your government. After all, you elected this government. And if you elected this government is to do good. Is to do good, to make sure that we can implement policies that benefit the people. And of course, there are certain decisions that were made in the past about how taxes are being collected. As I said, LHDN is doing their own internal review, and they have made some decisions which I'm sure you will see that we are going back to the rule of law. So LHDN, go back to the rule of law. We hope that you will comply with the law. And we make a deal on this now. Disputes are natural. Disputes are natural. As I said, boleh bincang punya. That's why come to LHDN, kita bincang sama-sama. Bincang dengan baik-baik. Bincang dengan bersih. Very important, bersih. Bincang dengan bersih. I'm sure we can resolve these problems. As I said in the past, if LHDN had been overzealous, that is a past. And we feel that if we can improve the people's confidence in LHDN, we can also improve tax collection. Just like in Penang. Why is it in Penang, over the last 10 years, we can increase our revenue by 3 times? Because people have confidence in the government. And then they know that we use the money for good purposes, for public purposes, for the benefit of people. Now, if we can do that, we are not talking about increasing revenue 3 times, no. But if we can increase revenue where people have confidence in the government, I'm sure that can be done. Generally, it has been proven that people believe that this government is using their money for the right purpose. They are willing to pay more. And we hope that we can instill this confidence amongst the taxpayers. LHDN has now taken a different route to improve the rate of compliance. Now, of course, LHDN will set strategies and policies that are in line with the federal government's objective to enhance the welfare of the rakyat. We must put the interests of the public at the core of our policy design. That's why, as I said, let's have discussions. Let's have early discussions. When we talk about new business transformations, of course, there's a need for us to master technology. But at the same time, let us also beware that when you master new technology, unless you are in full control, you may also open yourself up to people who may find loopholes in order to either cheat, deceive, or even steal money from us. So that's why it's very important that before we use any new technology, number one, it must be fully studied and assessed. Number two, we do not want to be the first one to do it. We want other countries to apply it, and it's a proven product. Because otherwise, if you don't follow that methodology, you are the first to use it. It may be very expensive for us later. Now, we do not deny that we are now in a digital economy. We do not deny that when we face Industry 4.0, we have to master data. In Silicon Valley, data is king. And of course, data will be king soon all over. And we must have the right people in order to understand this. What is Industry 4.0? What is IoT? What is cloud computing? What is big data analytics? And most important of all, artificial intelligence. Now, before we do or we undertake all this new technology, whether it's blockchain or cryptocurrency, let us make sure that we have the right people, the right understanding, and also the necessary controls. Failing which, Malaysia may lose out. So, with more digitalized services on the cards, there will be less need for interactions between LHDN and taxpayers, allowing taxpayers to go about their business with less interference from tax collectors. But that's where once you do it online, that is very transparent. But for LHDN, before this can be done, this will require a realignment of our work processes. It's not easy, but I think it is doable. Because if successfully implemented, you will instill greater public confidence in the tax system and increase the voluntary rate of compliance in Malaysia because we are transparent. LHDN will continue to assist everybody to become good taxpayers. And where there are issues on the interpretation of the law, LHDN will take a stand and ensure that this is communicated and understood clearly by the taxpayer. If there are any disputes, I'm sure there are other legal recourses that both sides can employ. LHDN needs to also work closely with international bodies in order to address international tax issues. These issues, as I mentioned earlier, include the digital economy, the sharing economy, the newer transaction modes involving by virtual currencies, as well as storing business records and financial data in virtual data rooms. In today's world, multinationals operate globally across multiple national jurisdictions. The global reach of these corporations has allowed them to reap maximum possible economic advantage via aggressive tax planning. The Malaysian Tax Authority must stand guard against any of these loopholes, especially by certain multinationals. In this regard, Malaysia has an ongoing commitment as an associate member to the OECD's Inclusive Framework, which we joined in March 2017, as part of the global effort to counter issues relating to base erosion and profit shifting, or BPS. Malaysia is also committed to implement the automatic exchange of financial accounts information under the Common Reporting Standards, where participating countries will exchange information on financial accounts of non-residents. To date, 100 jurisdictions have agreed to exchange CRS information. Now, as part of the tax fraternity, CTIM plays a very important role in the tax system in place. You are the first contact point for the taxpayer, and you influence your client's compliance level. And on our part, we as the government of the day will revisit and review a number of tax laws that seems outdated and burdensome to the taxpayers. There must be a law in place to deter tax evasion effectively, but it must be subjected to the rule of law. We must restore the faith of people in our financial governance by ensuring that monies collected by HDN are used for the right purposes. Now, one issue, of course, that makes it very difficult for us to identify and sometimes, of course, to calculate is transfer pricing. This is, I think, one area that we need to look at, because when you talk about Malaysia, we integrated as part of this global economy. I mean, transfer pricing is one of those big issues. Not just sometimes when you cross borders, but even within Malaysia. And that now cuts across not just goods, but also services. When there's a convergence in our products, convergence of goods and services, sometimes tax also must do the necessary convergence. Just as we want to stop some transfer pricing, we also do not want to have double counting. Double counting, just as double taxation. But even within the context of transfer pricing, there should also be we should also ensure that there is no double counting. So that's why I think this year's theme is very appropriate: taxation in a changing economy. So, I may be an accountant, but I'm not a tax accountant. So of course I defer to the experts here. But that doesn't mean I do not know anything about taxation. So I know that there will be a lot of requests about certain rules and regulations, but please bear in mind that whilst we are very focused on containing costs, because we got with all these financial issues, fiscal issues that crop up following one NDB and related scandals, we have been much focused on ensuring there is no cost implosion, and our budget, we can still fulfill the targets set for our budget. But whether we like it or not, taxation and our revenue base are very important determinants of our future. And the future that we see is not only to ensure transparency, not only to ensure that there is clarity and certainty in our rules, but also there is public engagement with the entire industry. But the way forward, apart from doing these basic core issues, is of course to widen the revenue base by introducing new sources of revenue. And that's where the creative and productive centers comes in. And when you talk about creative and productive centers, you're not only talking about Industry 4.0. You're not talking only about the digital economy. We're also talking about new economic game changers such as art, culture, heritage, where we hope that they can also generate new sources of revenue. So I think I leave it for the conference to discuss these new issues, and I hope that you will have a very productive and fruitful conference. On this note, I now declare the National Tax Conference 2018 officially open.